Oscar Goodman's contract with the Las Vegas Visitors Convention Authority, I can't ever say that tongue twister, is done. No more Oscar representing the city officially. Jeff Lowe is set to come back to Las Vegas for a court date. You might know him from that crazy Tiger King series that I finally did watch. And Caesars is switching to automation. What's going on in the world today of Las Vegas? We're going to talk about those today. My name is Steven. I am not leaving Las Vegas. I'm a Vegas blogger. I bring you the news. I'm doing a documentary right now, and if you guys stay tuned to the end of the video, you'll see a little teaser from that. It's the same one as last time, but a lot of people missed it because they don't watch my videos all the way through, but that's okay. I do longer videos. Like, share, subscribe, hit a comment below. What do you think of Oscar Goodman being let go, officially, his contract being done with to promote the city? Is it a sign of the future Las Vegas? Is it just that Oscar's not in our minds as much as we used to be? We're going to discuss that. And also, if you want to support the channel, you can hit up Teespring. We have some merch there. We also have the Patreon where you can be in the credits, or you can do the free thing. Like, share, subscribe, share the video somewhere, hit the bell for notifications, and leave us a comment. So first up, Oscar Goodman. You might remember him as the mob boss that appeared as himself in the 1996 film Casino. I want to say 96. He was famous for defending some of the biggest, most notorious mobsters that ran the Vegas hotels, especially what happened with, I believe it was the Stardust was featured in that film. Well, he has officially been asked not to report for duty anymore. The LVCA, let's see if I can do it right, Las Vegas Conventioners and Visitors Authority, it's a tongue twister. They have officially said your contract is no longer valid and we're not paying you to promote the city. Now, of course, Oscar loves Las Vegas. His wife, Carolyn Goodman, is the current mayor. I'm sure Oscar will still be doing things in the city, but he's not going to be on the dollar when he paid on the city and convention authority's dollar when he shows up at big events. Now, this is an interesting thing. It might be a sign of what the city is trying to do to reinvent itself going into the 21st century, even though we're 20 years into the 21st century. They need to change their marketing strategy, possibly. I've said this before. A lot of people agree. I mean, you can pay big celebrities, but I think the bigger thing here is that Vegas changes every so often, and every 21 years, we have a new generation of people that can officially come here to spend their own money as adults in Las Vegas. And just like how the Elvis Presley Cirque du Soleil show, that didn't do so well. The Elvis Museum closed. The Liberace Museum is gone. Just like how all these things from the past are forgotten about, perhaps the city's looking at Oscar and saying, you know what, you're not exactly persistent in the minds and visitors of Las Vegas. So maybe the city's going in a new direction. They want to get some of them Kardashians or celebrities, the soup du jour, to promote. I don't know. They cited it was amid the COVID concerns, but it seems to me like when you have a city like Las Vegas that's in hibernation mode, it's absolutely the best thing to do to be able to keep the city relevant with spokespersons like Oscar. So I wonder why Oscar was let go. Was it because he is just not what the city's looking for right now? Is the city looking for different things right now? It's quite the interesting thing if you ask me. Maybe they'll go in another direction. Maybe they'll just do everything on their own with their celebrities that they have doing headlining shows out here. Interesting stuff. Secondly, I did that really horrible video on the Tiger King. I'll admit it. Big time retractions were needed. You can't even see the video anymore. I talked about Jeff Lowe in the video though, and if you're watching the Tiger King documentary, you might have seen a brief instance where he had a wild party bus and was shoving baby tigers, lion cubs, and little animals into suitcases and smuggling them into hotel rooms. We're going to leave out a lot of the adult stuff because I can't talk about what he was doing in those hotel rooms afterwards. Just watch the documentary. It's not very family friendly, I'm just going to tell you. But he actually is coming back to Las Vegas to face some of his warrants. It's a complicated story here, so I'll just go through it as quickly as I can, and you guys can tell me what you think about this. Basically, he was running a business without a license. That was his party bus business, where he either rented or bought a giant bus, put a beautiful vehicle wrap on it, and graphically wise, it was well done. And he was driving around and taking people from casinos so they could hang out with baby cubs and baby lions, which is horrible in its own end because you can't tear those things away from their mothers. And he was then doing business without a license, so that's the first count. He suffered I think it was a $19,000 fine for that, if I'm not mistaken. The other 3 counts were from the USDA and the local authorities here for keeping wild animals without a license. So he went somewhere to go try to pay his fine, never came back to Las Vegas, said in interviews without this being broken as news beforehand, yeah, Vegas isn't my kind of town. Yeah, Vegas isn't your kind of town because you had bench warrants. Now, in the light of what's happening with the CV and the COVID, which YouTube now tells me we can talk about as long as we're being respectful and not exploiting it. Thank you, YouTube. It took you a long time for that, so we can say those words. In light of all that, it seems that the county has taken a bit of a stance on bench warrants. If you come back to Las Vegas to face your warrants, they'd rather have you come out here so they can fine you to generate some kind of an income. So they've relieved about $350 worth of his warrants that he was going to face on just fines for not showing up. He has a June 1st court date. Of course, I'll keep you updated on everything. I would like to know your opinion on Jeff Lowe from the comments below. My official stance on that whole documentary is it's totally crazy. It's super well done in terms of how documentaries should work because it subverts your expectations, meaning that one minute you're sympathetic with this character, the next minute they look like they're the biggest heel or bad guy in the world, and the next minute this person looks like a good person and they look bad. So it's very well done, and we still haven't finished it all the way to the end. So you know, if I see Tiger King spoilers, I'm just not going to read them in the comments. Number 3, the biggest thing here today, which might affect people negatively, is Caesars, according to Vital Vegas blog. They did a blog on the ways Vegas is going to change. I did that video weeks ago on how it's going to change. Vital Vegas is reporting that Caesars is investing heavily in automation. Kiosks to check people in, kiosks to check people out, kiosks to get your buffet tickets, kiosks to do pretty much everything. Now, we all know how it is. You walk into a Walmart store or any kind of big box retailer, and there's, one person running 8 different kiosks for automated things. Obviously, this is a problem. MGM did this with their MGM Resorts 2000 strategy, where they automated and put computer systems in place and then laid off thousands of people. Now, Caesars will probably tell you, and I didn't see it anywhere, that this is a way to get the interaction between people down because Vegas is going to change, and any interactions between people obviously are going to carry a risk until there's a vaccine for this thing. But on the other hand, if you can have one person running 8 machines, you just replace 7 people that would have had a decent paying job working with the public at a casino. And seeing as Caesars Entertainment is the one casino company in Vegas that, according to my video I did a few weeks ago from MarketWatch, has literally bled money every year for the past 4 years, and they're in the worst financial spot, this might be their way of cutting costs and reducing their workforce in order to be able to go into a post-closure world with a better financial stance and not losing as much money as people come back to Las Vegas. Because what's going to happen is simple. If you look at Macau, China, they only operated at 20% capacity after reopening after their scare over there with the CV. So if Caesars is anticipating anything like China happening with that market out there, we could have a situation where these casinos are making 20 cents on the dollar where they used to make $1 on the dollar. And if that's the case, they're going to have to downsize. And if they want to get more capital from Wall Street, they're going to have to adhere to all those cleanliness standards I talked about. And they're going to also try to reduce the amount of money they have going out. So they're in a better financial position to borrow and hopefully get money back in the past. So I hate to see Caesars doing this. I wish everybody could be like the Sheldon Adelsons of the world and just pay all their staff all the way through the closures. But that's not to say that Adelson will be paying his staff the same amount if they have to reduce the workforce when everything does open. Because you got to remember, I mean, even though you have some people that are doing nice humanitarian style things, they are for-profit businesses and they are trying to profit so they can keep through the muck and get through everything and be strong at the other end of it all. So I really hope Caesars isn't doing this as a way to cut their workforce. I hope Caesars isn't planning on keeping people that are on furlough on permanent furlough and just getting rid of their jobs because they're going in this new direction. Automated machines can be great. They can be frustrating. I remember trying to check in at McCarran International Airport to a Delta Airlines flight to get to Los Angeles, and no matter what I did, it wasn't able to find me. I'm scanning all my identifications, typing in my everything, still couldn't find me. I had to have a person come over and help me. So that's a case where a machine kind of fails. And not to mention, have you ever been beside somebody that doesn't really get how to use the machine? It can be a little bit frustrating and agitating, and it can sometimes lead to delays and things. So let's hope that Caesars does the right thing and doesn't rely on these going forward, huh? Okay, so that's your news for today. I'm still working on my documentary. I'm going to put that same clip I put in my video yesterday at the end of this video right now, so you guys can check that out. Hopefully you guys subscribe to the channel to get that video. We're going to be posting it up on Patreon early and then posting it for free on YouTube for everybody. If you want to be on those credits, you can head over there too, and you guys can check out the ways to support. And if you guys can't afford anything, just like, share, subscribe, hit the bell for the notifications, because that sure does help small YouTube channels out. And thanks so much for watching the news, and I will talk to you guys later. Now's the part of the video where I say 3, 2, 1, click. So 3, 2, 1, and click.